On today's Average Joe show, it is finally here. It's finally time to start talking about football again. The off-season is heating up. Free agents are starting to fly off the shelves like great grandma's peanut butter cookies. We will grade these moves in its entirety and see who the winners and losers are heading into this new season. And me and John will discuss our top 5 teams in the NFL right now heading into the season after these moves have been made. It's going to be a great season, boys. We are excited about this one. We are 90% oak in our pants. It's going to be a good episode, boys. Hopefully you stick around and enjoy this one. And with that, let's get going. Welcome to episode number 10 of the Average Joe Show, presented by Jon and Oz here. Today it is Tuesday, March the 13th, and you know what that means, John?
What does it mean?
It's time for some cut or uncut.
Is it time already?
Soon? It's already so soon for the second segment of cut or uncut.
All right. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Cut or uncut? Ripped jeans at the knee.
Cut.
Uncut. I wear them.
I know, that's why I'm saying cut. They're stupid.
No, they're not stupid. I like them.
Do you shave your... Cut or uncut? Shaving your knees when you wear ripped jeans.
I don't... Are people afraid to show their leg hairs? I
think so. I think people are...
I'm going uncut again because once again...
So you're okay with people shaving their knees?
No, I'm not. I don't like that. Cut that. Cut that. I don't shave my knees. I got.
Maybe you should.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Maybe you should.
It'd be weird if I'm ever in the situation of nude in front of a girl and just my knees.
You just got patchy ass knees.
Patchy ass knees. Like I don't grow hair on my knees. First of all, I don't have many hair on my knees to begin with. They're already pretty bone dry here. So I think we're looking good. I think the main issue I have with the ripped jeans, anyways, is that my legs are so short. The rip where it's supposed to be on the knee is actually on halfway down my shin.
Ah, okay. So
it's
a ripped shin jeans.
It's a ripped shin jeans. So,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Cut that.
No. Keep that.
Keep
all
the
my
ripped shin jeans.
All my jeans are pretty much ripped. Anyways, you got anything else for cut or uncut here?
Just do two things. Just a good segment of cut or uncut.
Good segment of cut or uncut.
Cut or uncut. Women on Tinder having their age as 24, and then when you go click on their bios, they're like actually 16.
Yeah, definitely cut that.
Uncut.
Definitely cut that.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than when you're talking to someone, and then like 3 months down the road, she's like, haha, actually, I'm in grade 12, so.
That wouldn't be too bad. It's actually, I'm in grade 10.
Actually, I am fresh out of the womb.
I am actually 2 years old.
I'm a newborn baby, and you have to talk to me.
Because I'm on Tinder.
And I would.
If I had to.
All right, I got another one here. No, I don't.
Sounds good.
I don't have any other ones. So that was
cut or uncut. People calling Kevin Durant a snake for leaving OKC.
Uncut.
Cut.
Uncut.
You like them calling him a snake?
I mean, people call him cupcakes too because of that, like because he's soft and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's a cupcake, I'll take a dozen to go, please. You know what I mean? Because he's fucking good. You know what I mean?
He is pretty good.
He's good, and if he wants to be a snake, I mean, let him. I mean, I don't care.
Oh, because you're a Golden State fan. Oh, yeah, let him be a snake. You know,
yeah.
It's no big deal.
I mean, I don't really care.
What if Kevin Durant this year, you guys lose to 7 against against the Rockets, and he opts out of his contract and signs with the Rockets?
Then he can go fuck himself.
Then he's a snake.
Then he's a snake. No, I mean, if he wants to go, if he wants to join the best team, by all means, let him. I don't fucking care.
I don't believe you.
I still have Steph Curry, so it's okay.
That's true. That's fair.
That's fair. Plus, that opens up many doors for Anthony Davis to join the squad.
Okay, anyway, you got anything else to cut or uncut?
Cut or uncut, LeBron's hairline.
Cut.
Yeah, that's a definite cut for me.
Yeah, he's got to just go bald at this point.
Oh, another one. Cut or uncut, sticking on LeBron, joining the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though Juju...
Fuck Juju Smith-Schuster.
Even though Juju said he was announcing his end to campaign LeBron to come play for the Steelers.
And fuck the Steelers.
Yeah. True, but I mean, they might be in my top 5. We'll discuss that later.
And that'll be something to discuss later on.
Got a big episode for you guys. This one's going to be interesting. Finally get to start talking about the football atmosphere. Football's in the air. You can smell it.
You can taste it.
You can taste it.
You can hear it.
You can smell that.
Yeah.
That's a smell of
shit.
That's a smell of wind and feces.
And your ass.
And this is the smell of something brewing in Chi-Town. I'll tell you that much.
Good one.
I'll tell you that much.
Does that mean you want to talk about Chicago first?
Yeah, I would actually like to talk about Chicago first. The Bears have signed, or are going to sign Allen Robinson tomorrow, barring any setbacks. There probably won't
Thursday.
be. I thought they said Wednesday for.
It's Thursday is the actual signing period. With legal tampering.
Anyways, Allen Robinson will be signed with the Bears, and we got Trey Burton too, $32 million for 4 years.
Yep, for Trey.
My first initial thoughts on this is Mitch Trubisky, kissing titties. Mitch Trubisky now has some weapons to work with down in the Windy City. I'm pretty fired up about these ones. Allen Robinson.
He had a 3-year, $42 million contract for Allen Robinson.
Yeah, despite him tearing his ACL last year and coming off an injury, I mean, it was really, for Bears fans, it was like, do we want Sammy Watkins or do we want Allen Robinson? Who would you rather have?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would rather have Allen Robinson despite the injury.
Sammy wasn't very good last year.
I don't really like Sammy Watkins. I liked him coming out of Clemson, but now that I'm thinking about it, Allen Robinson, I like him. I mean, he had 14 fucking receiving touchdowns and
1,400 yards in 2015. Yeah,
15,
he was very
16.
good with Blake Bortles throwing the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think
there's a reason why he still got $42 million coming off an ACL tear.
Exactly. I mean, I think with him coming to Chicago, young core, Mitch throwing to him, Nagy coaching the boys, I think this was a good move Pace made. Ryan Pace, love this guy, what he's been doing so far. My initial thoughts on the Trey Burton, however, excited. We got a tight end that actually do something for the first time since like Martellus Bennett since when he was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an unbelievable receiving tight end, right? And he's a better quarterback signing than Mike Glennon. Get it? Because he threw the touchdown pass in the Super Bowl.
Move on. You don't get to use the sound effects. Fuck you.
Anyways, but it kind of, the only thing that worries me about that is I would have liked to see Adam Shaheen kind of develop. And
it's not like you can't use two tight ends.
It's not like you can't use them, but if you're paying Trey Burton, a guy that only has 66 career receptions.
Yeah, it's not like he's very established.
You're paying him $32 million. You kind of have to play him a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that Shaheen will be used more in the red zone. I don't think Trey Burton's very tall.
Yeah.
I think he's only like 6'3", which isn't too tall for a tight end.
Well, I mean, we've seen before that obviously the Trey Burton throwing for the touchdown.
Okay, shut the fuck up about Trey Burton throwing for a touchdown.
Throwing for a touchdown against the Patriots. We've seen a trick play the Bears run on an extra point that one time. I fucking love that. I don't know if you've seen that one.
The pitch?
Mitch? The pitch to Mitch.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be throwing get some trick plays in there with Trey and Mitch. That'd be exciting to see. But like I said, I would have liked Trey Burton. I do like the move, but I would have liked to see Shaheen play a lot. I mean, this guy's as big as Gronk. And
yeah, he's very large.
He's a very large man, and I think his 40 was like 0.3 seconds faster than Gronk. So this guy, if he develops, I'm not saying he's not going to be.
He's a good athlete.
I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Gronk. No one will be ever as good as Gronk, I don't think. But I mean, he could get fucking pretty close. I mean, this guy's
if he gets the playing time,
he's a large man coming out of that tight end spot for the Bears. I mean now I like all these moves. Mitch has some weapons now. We got Howard, Cohen, Meredith, maybe. I'm going to assume he's going to come back. Allen Robinson, Trey Burton, Adam Shaheen.
Yeah.
And if you want to throw in Kevin White.
You don't want to throw in Kevin White.
No, I definitely don't want to throw in Kevin White.
But they could draft a guy.
That's another thing I would like to discuss before we move on to the next one. A lot of people are saying now that we signed Allen Robinson, do you still want the Bears to draft a wide receiver, or now you just take the best available option on defense, or like a linebacker or corner?
Yeah.
I think I would still be excited with them taking a wide receiver like Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
So just in case something happens, you still have a back, like a plan B, I guess you could say.
I think you need more wide receiver depth in Chicago.
I mean, Robinson's 24, right? Cam Meredith is like 22. And if you draft
Allen Robinson really that young?
He's 24. Yeah. He's fucking young. I think you get 3 weapons. I wouldn't be upset with that, but then again, I
think in today's NFL you need more wideouts than just Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
And maybe Cam Meredith.
Yeah, but I mean, since we got rid
Still got Dontrell Inman though.
Yeah.
He's not terrible.
Not terrible. And then Josh Bellamy, I guess. But
yeah.
I think Kendall, I'm not sure. I honestly really wanted them to Kendall Wright was okay. I didn't mind him.
Yeah.
Good like slot receiver, right?
Yeah,
fast.
He's a good like 4th wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I would like to see the Bears maybe I would be thrilled if they drafted a wide receiver, but I wouldn't be upset if they drafted like a cornerback or a linebacker now that they got rid of Parnell McPhee, right?
Or an O-lineman after cutting Josh Sitton.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm interested to see what they do at the draft. Ryan Pace said he's going to get a wide receiver, and he did that with Allen Robinson. I'm fired up for it. I don't think the Bears are going to make the playoffs, obviously, but I do see them winning like at least 6-7 games now.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think now
this is Mitch's year to make a nice jump here now that he has the weapons and the coach.
Exactly.
And if you can see him get up,
I love this young core with Nagy behind them.
If you can get up to 7-8 wins this year and build up even stronger next off season.
Is that division now the toughest division in football?
I think it's still the New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, and Tampa Bay division.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like the Lions.
Yeah, I guess the Lions.
I just don't love the Lions, and the Bears aren't. Great. Like I don't think the Bears are better than the Panthers, but it's definitely a very, very tough division.
So we'll move on here to Kirk, Captain Kirk, going to the Vikes.
You want to go grades?
Oh, yeah, we can grade that. For me, overall, with Trey and the...
We'll do separate grades.
Separate grades? Okay, so I think the Allen Robinson trade, I'm going to give it a B+.
Okay.
I'm not going to give it an A, even though I would like to, because it's my team, obviously, but the ACL scares me.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the big issue. The ACL scares me. For the Trey part, I'm going to give it a B-.
Okay.
It's always good, like you said, to have 2 tight ends, right? Trey Burton can be something. I mean, he's for the limited time he got in Philly behind Ertz, he still got 5 receiving touchdowns, right? So, yeah. I mean, I give it a low grade just because I would have liked to see Shaheen play. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's fair. For me, I think Allen Robinson gets an A- in my books. I think wide receiver was easily the Bears' biggest need. They fill that need with one of the bigger profile receivers on the market. When he was healthy, he was very productive. He's still very young. I don't think $42 million over 3 is too much to give up for him.
No, definitely not.
Especially considering the cap space Chicago had. They had to spend it somewhere.
Yeah. So
I thought Allen Robinson was a good signing, A- there. For Trey Burton, as much as I just said they had cap space, I'm going to give Trey Burton about a C+. I like Trey Burton, the player. I think he's a very good receiving option out of that tight end spot. But like you said, I like Adam Shaheen as well. I think you try to get him some playing time. Like, obviously, and any way you spin it, he's going to lose playing time with the signing of Trey Burton.
Yeah.
Like, he just will.
Yeah.
So I think you limit his snaps. You give up $32 million for a tight end number 2 or a potential 1, but even then, I don't think tight end was your biggest need.
No.
And I think you could have used that money somewhere else. Like if you wanted to draft a tight end or something,
Yeah.
or sign one to like a 1 or 2 year deal for lesser money,
exactly.
or even swing like Detroit a 6th round pick for Eric Ebron. But
Yeah.
I think that was a little much to give up for Trey Burton. I'm not going to kill it too much just because I do like Trey Burton. I think he's a good player. I think he just adds to the dynamic Bears projected offense, but I didn't like the value and I didn't really like the position.
It was just a weird, it was unexpected for me. I was like when I seen that the Bears signed Trey Burton, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but
I think
we didn't really need a tight end, right?
No, not really.
I mean, Zach Miller did fucking blow his leg up, and he's gone now. But and you need 2 tight ends, so if you're gonna get
you need some depth, but it's just
yeah,
Shaheen was a 2nd round pick, and now you're giving Trey Burton $32 million. That's a lot of assets to be tied up in.
It's a lot of money to be giving a guy that only has 66 career receptions, right?
Yeah, but it definitely adds some speed to the offense, some pass catching ability. Yeah.
It's definitely
he's not gonna hurt the offense by any means.
No, it's definitely a positive for Bears fans because now Mitch actually has people to throw to.
Yep,
and
exactly.
And he'll be able to develop a lot more than he would with whatever the fuck we threw out there last year.
Kevin White.
I mean, whatever we threw out there last year, I mean, the only people he pretty much threw to were like fucking Kendall Wright, Jordan Howard, and Tariq Cohen coming out of the backfield, and he was okay.
Yeah, exactly. He was all right.
I don't like when people say that Mitch Trubisky is a bad quarterback and he's a bust. No, he's not. I love Mitch. I had faith in Mitch. I didn't like how we traded up last year to get Mitch and not draft Deshaun Watson, but I'm not going to disown.
You can't hold it
I
against
can't hold
him.
him against him because I do like Mitch and I think he's going to be fucking great.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a solid quarterback too.
So we'll move on to the next team in that. We'll just go through that division now since Packers also made a move, but the Vikings.
Biggest signing so far this offseason.
Shipped out Case. Well, they
didn't ship him out, but he got signed to the Broncos. Yeah.
They lose Case, but add Captain Kirk to their QB spot.
Yep.
Vikings fans should get excited, man.
I think so too. I mean, Kirk Cousins was easily the best quarterback on the market.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He had a solid year last year, throwing for over 4,000 yards again, over 30 touchdowns. There's a weird contract. He gets a 3-year deal. I don't think they have released. Oh, it's an $86 million contract, and it is a fully guaranteed contract, which is really strange in the NFL. Normally, you see about half the contracts guaranteed in their signing bonus, but it looks like Kirk, regardless of what he does, is getting this $86 million. How much better do you think the Vikings can be with Kirk Cousins reigning at the helm?
I think that with Kirk at the helm of this, they're a fucking good team, man.
They went 13-3 last year with Case Keenum.
Yeah, I think even I'm going to say this, even if Rodgers stays healthy the whole year, I think Minnesota, they just have a better defense, right?
Their defense is unbelievable. Skill position, Dalvin Cook's coming back. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen.
Picture the years Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen are going to have with Kirk throwing to him. Thielen had an unbelievable year this year.
Yeah.
He was like 3rd in receiving yards in all of football with Case Keenum throwing to him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like we're saying Case Keenum's a bad quarterback. Case Keenum was actually pretty... I was a Case Keenum believer last year.
I didn't believe in him in the playoffs, but he was good. I think Kirk gives you a lot more at that quarterback position than Case does. He's got a way better arm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he will provide you with the same turnover ratio that Case did. Keenum didn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
But Kirk will make those big plays downfield to Diggs.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll make Thielen's life easier.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think, does this make the Vikings the team to beat in the NFC now? Or are you still looking Eagles?
I'm still looking Eagles. I mean,
they're adding Carson Wentz back.
And
they got Michael Bennett.
Exactly. I still think that it's going to be definitely going to be close between those two, but I just like the Eagles a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Their defense is... The Vikings is probably better, but they are similar. You can compare them.
Yeah.
So, but I do like the Vikings. I agree with you. I think they're coming out of that division. And I think they're probably right behind the Eagles as a contender in the NFC. I mean,
for sure, yeah.
I'd be worried if I was any team in the NFC about those boys down in Minnesota. The new purple people eaters.
I guess you can call it up because they are pretty north.
They are in very north. They're not going. Nobody's going down anywhere. They're going up to Minnesota. So grades on Kirk Cousins.
The grade on Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. I'm gonna give it an A minus.
Okay.
They definitely upgraded at the quarterback spot. I mean, to me, you can see it. You've seen it in not the Saints game, the Eagles game, in the championship game.
Yeah.
They got fucking killed, right?
And I mean, he wasn't great in the Saints game either.
No,
if
he
you
wasn't
take away
great,
that Diggs 60-something yard touchdown,
yeah, exactly.
he was not having a good game.
Throughout the season, Case was good. I was a Case believer, and then again, the playoffs. This guy's had no experience in the playoffs, right? So
no, I don't think the Broncos are going to go anywhere with him as their starter.
No.
If they don't draft somebody, I don't think they're going to win jack shit this year with Case Keenum.
Probably not. But yeah, I give it an A minus just because they definitely upgraded at quarterback. That's kind of what they needed. They weren't going anywhere with Teddy Bridgewater. They weren't going anywhere with Case Keenum
or Sam Bradford.
So I think this really puts them over the Packers. Is exactly what they wanted to do. So
yeah, exactly. Everything last year was, well, I know the Vikings are good, but that bad man down in Green Bay, he's not there.
But then again, who knows?
Who knows how he's coming back off that injury?
Aaron Rodgers could be a fucking just sling especially with what we're going to discuss next.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk Packers here in a sec. I'm just going to grade this Kirk Cousins deal. I'm going to give it a B. I think it's a good move. He's a lot better than Case Keenum. It moves the Vikings ceiling up. I really do think now that they're Super Bowl contenders. The only reason I'm going to give it a B instead of an A is because it's fully guaranteed. It's $86 million is a huge cap hit. If they in the next couple of years have to let go of a lot of young key pieces on that team, for Kirk Cousins, I mean, he is definitely an upgrade over Case Keenum. That was my phone, sorry. But he's definitely an upgrade over Case Keenum. I don't know how, if you sign Case Keenum for $10 million, is Kirk Cousins $76 million better than Case Keenum? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think if you're a Vikings fan, you get excited. Unless, I don't know if like Diggs, if they like lose Diggs and they lose here's the thing: the Vikings have really locked up a lot of key pieces with contract extensions in the defense. I think that lets them shell out a lot of money for this quarterback. It's just that $86 million fully guaranteed is really something we've never seen in the NFL before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter. For the next 3 years, they're going to pay this. It doesn't matter if he's hurt. It doesn't matter if he just flat out sucks.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pay him his money.
Yeah.
But, I'll give it a B.
B? Okay.
So we move on here to the Packers. They signed Jimmy Graham to a 3-year deal, as well as Muhammad Wilkerson away from the Jets. I don't know what Muhammad Wilkerson signed for.
I'm assuming a lot.
At this very moment, well, he was released. I think he had a cap hit of about $15 million. But when he was released by the Jets, so that's why they did release him.
Yeah.
But, okay, $8 million for 1 year for Muhammad Wilkerson. So he gets a decent chunk of cash for him. I'll start with you. What do you think of the new pieces in Packerland?
Aaron Rodgers to Jimmy Graham is going to be fucking disgusting in the red zone. It's going to be hard to stop. I mean, you've seen what Rodgers can do with when he did with Jordy Nelson, and Jordy Nelson was released by the Packers, right?
Yeah. We'll talk about that as well as its own separate thing.
I mean, Jimmy Graham has kind of fallen off a lot recently, but
he has been much worse for Seattle. But
he
did have some injuries. But how much is that Seattle not knowing how to use Jimmy Graham?
Exactly, because you've seen what he did in New Orleans with Drew Brees.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine what he's going to do with Aaron fucking Rodgers? This could be a comeback of the year,
a career resurgence,
if you can say, for Jimmy Graham. I think he's probably going to rack up at least 10 touchdowns this year, if I had to guess.
Draft him in fantasy.
Yeah, I think he was going to be a great tight end in fantasy this year. I mean, Rodgers likes to look for that inside receiver, I guess you could say. I mean, he looked at Devontae Adams all year this year. So
yeah.
I think I'm not putting Minnesota that much over Green Bay because you never know what fucking Aaron Rodgers is going to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus this Wilkerson deal kind of beefs up their defense a little bit more. They still got Haha and Morgan Burnett. And
Morgan Burnett's a free agent.
Is he?
Yep.
I mean,
he's going to the Patriots.
Yeah, everyone's going to the Patriots apparently.
Except for everybody, because no one's going to the Patriots.
But yeah, the Jimmy Graham, I think it's going to be fucking unbelievable. Great signing for the Packers. I hate the Packers, but it's a good signing for them. If I had to grade this one, I'm going to give it an A.
For Graham?
For Graham. Okay. They needed a tight end, right? I mean, Martellus Bennett didn't really work out as much as I thought it was going to, but Jimmy Graham and the Aaron Rodgers connection could be real in Packtown. I think that's going to be a good fucking duo, man. For the Wilkerson one, I'm going to give it a B. I mean, it beefs up their defense, right? I mean, something they need. Their defense kind of has been going downhill a little bit. But, I mean, I don't really know much about Wilkerson. I mean, he played for the fucking Jets, right? So
yeah. I mean, a high draft pick, but he hasn't really worked out as well as you'd want him to.
No.
For the Graham deal, I think I'm a little bit less hyped about it than you are. I think Aaron Rodgers has shown a penchant to ignore his tight end and throw to his outside receivers more and more as he's aged. He really went to Devontae Adams last year. I mean, Jordy Nelson had a big cap hit, but he was really targeted a lot as well by Rodgers. I thought Martellus Bennett was going to be better this year, as you did as well. But, I mean, who was the last good tight end in Green Bay?
I don't know.
Jermichael Finley. And even then, he wasn't that good. Jimmy Graham was bad in Seattle. There's no other way to put it. I mean, as much as you can say they didn't know how to use him.
Yeah, you can say that because Russell's not really a throwing quarterback, right? He's a mobile quarterback.
Well, yeah, but Doug Baldwin didn't have a problem in Seattle's offense.
I mean,
Tyler Lockett doesn't have a problem in
Seattle's
Seattle's
wide receiver
offense.
they have, right?
But they had Jimmy Graham, so that's not true.
I mean,
I like Jimmy. I'm not going to give the move a ridiculously bad grade. I think it's still a good move for them. The Packers have been hesitant to sign a lot of free agents in the past, so I definitely think coming out and making some splashes was good for them and their fan base. In the past, I think they've been mostly draft and retain their guys. So that's, a nice change up for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give the Graham move another B. I think he will help out Aaron Rodgers. And, you know what, I'll give it a B+, because if you had to get rid of Jordy Nelson, for a cap move, and, you weren't going to keep him regardless,
mm-hmm.
and you get a guy like Jimmy Graham to come in, then I think you still have enough weapons there with Adams, Graham, and Randall Cobb still there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a B+. I don't think he's going to be a 1,000-yard, 10-touchdown guy, but if he can get 700 yards and be good in the red zone, 8 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, I think it's a good signing. Muhammad Wilkerson, I'm going to give it an A. I think Muhammad Wilkerson has a lot of talent in him. I think with New York, he just didn't care. They were terrible. He was never playing for anything. I think going into Green Bay, where they demand good work ethic out of their players and they have a solid locker room, I think Wilkerson's really going to play well. You get him on a 1-year deal, only $8 million, so you're not breaking the bank or anything like that. I think it's one of those moves that is all risk, no reward. Or, that doesn't make any sense. All reward, no risk. So I really like the Wilkerson to the Packers move, and they need defense over there.
Yeah.
As much as I like Jimmy Graham, they really do need more defense than offensive help in Green Bay.
Yeah. And if you're a Lions fan, sorry. You've done nothing.
You can fuck right off.
You still have a very overpaid quarterback. That's all we can say.
Exactly. And so we're going to move on here. We talked about the NFC North. We're going to move on to Cleveland into Believeland. The Cleveland Browns trade a 3rd-round pick in 2019 for Jarvis Landry from the Miami Dolphins. We spoke on him a couple of episodes ago. And they also move a undisclosed draft pick for Tyrod. They moved the 3rd-round pick in 2019 for Tyrod. And then they moved another draft pick, I believe, a 5, and they swapped another round for Jarvis Landry. At the end of the day, they trade some picks for Jarvis Landry.
Either way, they
and
got Jarvis
Tyrod
Landry
Taylor.
and Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
And shipped out Deshaun Kaiser to the Pack.
For Demarius Randall. And they do say Demarius Randall's going to play free safety, which might open up an avenue for them to move Jabril Peppers, which could be exciting.
That could be exciting. Could finally get a Joe Pepper jersey that isn't a fucking Cleveland Brown jersey.
Exactly. Do you want to start with Tyrod or you want to start with Jarvis here?
We'll start with Jarvis. Great move by the Browns here. Unbelievable move by the Browns. I like it. I like it a lot. They needed a wide receiver. Him adding with Josh Gordon. I mean, Josh Gordon looked pretty good coming back last year.
Yeah, he did.
So,
he really did.
They really beefed up their wide receiver core here. I would have loved to see the Bears get Jarvis, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So Browns really put everything they had into getting this guy, and it's good for them. I don't think that with these moves they're that much better, but I definitely see them winning a fucking game this year. Tyrod Taylor, I mean, honestly, my perception of Tyrod Taylor is he's a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. I mean, he throws a nice fucking football though. He's got a mean spiral. It's like I've always seen that about him. I mean, he can't really throw it downfield a lot, but I mean, he's a mobile quarterback, right? He can move around the pocket, get it in and out.
Yeah.
He runs when you need him to.
He doesn't make any mistakes.
Doesn't really make any mistakes. I think these moves have definitely opened up the door for them, obviously, to take Saquon in the draft.
Yeah, I think so too. Isaiah Crowell also signs with the Jets, so there's another running back out the door.
Yeah, exactly. So Saquon will be a Cleveland Brown. It's pretty much inevitable at this point.
You're gonna write it in stone here.
I'm gonna write it in stone, but you never know. It's the fucking Browns, man. They could screw it up.
They could really fuck it up.
They could really fuck it up somehow. I mean, we've seen it before. I like these two moves, and it not only does it set them up for next year, it sets them up to at that 4 spot to really take the best available player then, instead of having to worry about getting needs, right?
Yeah.
So obviously they're going to draft Saquon first, and at that 4 spot they can get that guard from Notre Dame,
Quentin Nelson, Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm not sure that Tyrod Taylor and Jarvis makes them that much better. I mean, I don't see them coming last in that division anymore. Sorry, Baltimore Ravens fans.
Yeah, Baltimore is pretty bad. I mean, Joe Flacco sucks.
Yeah, I think Cleveland will finish ahead of them.
But I mean, if that's 4-12, Baltimore's 3-13.
I still don't think that people in Cleveland need to start to believe now. I mean, obviously you'd like to make the playoffs, but I just don't see it happening even with these two deals.
Grades?
Jarvis, I'm giving an A, and Tyrod Taylor, B+.
Okay.
I like Jarvis. Really makes them a lot better at receiving, and Tyrod still not a great quarterback.
No, he's not a world beater or anything like that.
But I mean, he could be good. I mean, I guess we'll wait and see. But I don't think that it's gonna make them that much better.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I think for the Tyrod Taylor move, you pretty much you explained him. I mean, he can move in and out of the pocket. He has an okay deep ball, not a great one. He's decently accurate. He won't make mistakes, but he's not a guy that's going to take an 0-16 team to the playoffs. I mean, he made the playoffs with the Bills barely, and they were like the third best team.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like the Chargers and the Ravens were better than them last year, and they missed the playoffs, but. I don't know, Tyrod Taylor, they trade a third next year for him. If they don't, I'm not with you on taking the best player available at 4. I think if they don't take a quarterback at 4, they're really fucked. I mean, they passed on Jared Goff when they traded out with the Eagles in that draft. They've passed on so many quarterbacks. Take Saquon at 1. Let the Giants fuck around and take whoever they want. The Colts aren't going to take a quarterback. Pick your quarterback at 4. I don't trust Tyrod Taylor to win anything in this league. I think if you're locked in with Tyrod Taylor as your starting quarterback, you're destined for an 8-8 ceiling, maybe 9-7 if everything breaks right.
the thing is, with if they draft a quarterback and then Tyrod Taylor's gonna be like, well, what the fuck?
But who cares? You didn't sign him to a contract. It's not like you traded for him.
I know, but then
I mean,
if you throw, say you draft Sam Darnold, and you throw him out there and he's shit, and then you have to say, okay, now we'll throw out Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod's like, well, fuck you guys.
Well, I think Tyrod's going to start over whatever rookie they bring in.
I know, still.
I think he's gonna be there as their gap, and then you can move him at the deadline if you think your young quarterback can take over.
Either way, Cleveland's still shit.
Yeah, I don't. I'll give the Tyrod Taylor signing a B, with the trade a B, like you did. I mean, he's okay. He is better than Deshaun Kaiser, so they did upgrade their quarterback position, but I don't love him as a starter. I think they still need to draft somebody. Jarvis, I'll also give an A. They only gave up a 4th and a 7th to get him, and with how many picks they have, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Jarvis is extremely talented. He's pretty young. He's only 25. You get him on a 1-year deal on the franchise tag anyway, so it's not like you're locked into a big contract with the guy. You need weapons. Any team needs another weapon, especially when you're as bad as the Browns are, and if you do want to bring in a rookie quarterback, you are going to want a weapon for him. So I like the Jarvis Landry trade. We're going to move on here. We're going to talk former Patriot. Malcolm Butler signs a big deal, 5 years, $61 million to the Tennessee Titans. Just gut reaction. I'm going to give Tennessee a B. As much as I am a New England fan, and I did not agree with Malcolm Butler getting benched in Super Bowl 52. Who did, really?
Yeah.
But Malcolm Butler's a good player. He's not a great player. I don't think he's a top 5 cornerback. I think he'd be scratching top 10, maybe. That's a lot of money for him. I know the Patriots weren't going that high on him. He made his money with that play in Super Bowl 49. I mean,
yeah. That's pretty much what.
He's getting paid now. Good for him. The Tennessee Titans did need a cornerback. Now they have him, Logan Ryan, and Adoree Jackson, first-round pick from last year. So their secondary should be pretty good next year. And their defense was really their issue last year. Well, Marcus Mariota didn't help them much last year, but their defense wasn't good either.
I mean, they still made the playoffs, right? But
yeah, but that's the thing. Baltimore and LA were better than Bills and Tennessee. Yeah. So, but I'll give the signing a B. I think it's a little bit of money for a guy who's not elite, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the Tennessee definitely needed to add something on the defensive end. I mean, they really have nothing there.
No, their best players like Jarrell Casey.
Yeah, they haven't had a good cornerback since Cortland Finnegan, and even then, they still did nothing with him.
And he wasn't that good.
And he wasn't that great. But I think Malcolm Butler can definitely change the dynamic on the defense a little bit. I mean, like you said, he's not a top tier cornerback. He's still a good cornerback, but Tennessee needed to do something with this.
I just think that's a lot of money for Malcolm Butler in 5 years.
That is a lot of money for a guy that really hasn't. The only play he's really made was what his name's been based off is this play against the Seahawks, right? But
yeah, I mean, he's had some Pro Bowl seasons and stuff, but just watching the guy every week, he's prone to getting burned. He's not very fast. He can't play in the slot. He's an outside corner only, and he's only 5'10".
Yeah.
So, I mean, as soon as he starts losing a little bit of athleticism in a couple years, it's not like he's technically sound or he's a big corner where he can keep up with them stride for stride just because he's long.
Yeah. If I'm grading this, I'm putting it at a C+.
Yeah, that's fair.
C+, hovering around a B-. It's not like one of those big signings, but right, again, it's a need for Tennessee. So that's the only reason why I don't grade it any lower than I already have. But
yeah, and it's not like it moves the needle very much. I don't think that Tennessee is all of a sudden going to go on a run because they acquired Malcolm Butler.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we will move on here. Do you want to go Jets?
Yeah, we can talk Jets.
All right, we're going to talk some New York Jets here. Not that either of us like the Jets or want to talk about the Jets, but they do make a couple interesting moves. They signed Teddy Bridgewater to a 1-year deal worth $10 million. I believe it's $10 million, whatever he gets. It's a 1-year deal. They also signed Trumaine Johnson to a big contract, $15 million a season over 4. He's a cornerback from the LA Rams. The Rams don't need him after getting Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib.
Right.
But a couple big moves out here in New York. Just gut reaction on these. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I've liked him since college. If he didn't get hurt, I think he'd still be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
For the Jets, who also signed Josh McCown, if you want to throw him in there.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty fair signing. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater was pretty good when he was healthy. I mean, if you don't have to spend that number 6 pick on a quarterback, you only build your team up a little bit better with, say, a Minkah Fitzpatrick or a Quentin Nelson, right?
Yeah.
So I like it for the Jets' point of view. You sign Josh McCown because you know he can play in your system and he was okay. And you know next year you're not competing for anything anyway, so why not get a guy who's just okay?
Mm-hmm.
You start him maybe for the first couple games because Teddy's not ready. But once he's ready, throw him out there. Fuck, the guy's like 25, 26. Teddy Bridgewater next year plays well. There's no reason for the Jets to draft a quarterback. And then they have their franchise quarterback. And if he doesn't play well, then either you draft a guy this year or next year. And if he doesn't play well, you're going to be terrible. So you know you have a high pick next year to draft a quarterback anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the Teddy Bridgewater signing an A. I don't see any problem with it.
I'm going to give it a B. Again, the injuries is just the only thing that can set this guy back and from doing something in New York. But I mean, again, why not sign him? See what happens, right?
See, that's my thinking. I think even if he's never ready or he doesn't play, you have so much cap space.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just worth the risk to get a young quarterback into your building, into your system.
It was just super weird that they re-signed McCown and then signed Teddy. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, if you sign Teddy and then you draft a young guy, I think that kind of defeats the purpose of signing Teddy because you want to see if he can be the franchise, right? Like, he's not old.
Like if you sign Teddy and then say you draft like Baker or someone in the draft, then
you're not going to play Teddy for very long.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what do you like? It's typical New York Jets, right?
Then you're going to be waiting on Teddy anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good trade signing for the Jets. I mean, if he works out, then fuck, that's good for them. But they still need a lot more pieces.
Oh yeah, they need a lot more pieces
still need
around
a lot
them.
More things to go. I mean, the only positive thing that if you're a Jets fan, and I don't really know too many Jets fans, I think the only positive thing you're looking at is Jamal Adams. That's
Jamal Adams is gross.
I mean, pretty much it.
That does. And we'll talk about Tremaine Johnson here. He's really, he's a good corner from the Rams. He's probably a top 10 corner in the NFL. Big money deal, but they had a lot of cap space, so you don't mind any of these teams with massive cap space getting big money deals. But he signs with the Jets. That gives them one of the better secondaries in the league, I think, with Marcus May, Jamal Adams, and now Tremaine Johnson, a cornerback.
I mean, their defense is good, thank God.
Yeah. I mean, is there some hope in New York if Teddy Bridgewater plays well?
Even if he plays well, I still don't think that they're that like they have. He has no one to throw to. Except Jermaine Kearse.
Robbie Anderson's okay, but yes, he doesn't have great weapons.
Like, and Matt Forte just retired.
No running back in the Jets.
Yeah, Matt Forte just retired, and like
their O-line's not good. They don't have a tight end.
Good.
Austin Safari and Jenkins.
Yeah, but meh. The Jets are just pretty bad in general.
Well, they're probably better than the Dolphins.
Yeah, I guess so.
What about the Bills? They're probably better than the Bills right now.
I don't think so.
No, not without a quarter. The Bills don't even have a quarterback.
I know, but still.
Think they'll draft one?
Yeah, they'll probably draft one.
Yeah. All right. So Teddy Bridgewater, I'm going to give it an A just because I don't see a downside to it. Even if he sucks, you're going to suck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if he gets hurt and sucks, you didn't expect to be good unless Teddy Bridgewater was good. So even if you suck, you get a high pick next year, you can just take a guy anyway.
Yeah.
You get development for your other guys. It's not like it's a lost year or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Johnson signing, I'll give it an A-. I mean, I don't mind either of these signings. Tremaine Johnson got a lot of money, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a need for the Jets. I'll give it an A-.
Yeah, I'll give it an A.
Yeah, fair enough. So we'll talk a couple more moves here before we get going. We're going to go a move that happened a couple days ago. Richard Sherman signs with the 49ers for 3 years. He signs only a day after the Seahawks release him. I thought he was coming to New England, but not on that contract. He got 3 years, like 30-something million. But what's your initial reaction for Sherman signing with the Niners? Do you think this makes them a contender in the West?
I have like two ways of looking at the Sherman one. It makes them better, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to make them a contender in the West. I mean, I think they'll do good, especially with Jimmy G.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think Richard Sherman's washed up now.
Yeah, I don't think Richard Sherman is as good as he used to be. He's not like a top 5 cornerback anymore.
Plus, he's got he runs his mouth way too much.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much he tries to talk because, I mean, in Seattle, he was drafted there. That was kind of his defense. I mean, when he said things, it wasn't like,
Yeah.
But, I mean, if he does go to the 49ers when it's Kyle Shanahan's team, Jimmy G's team, and he goes there and starts running his mouth, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know. I think they get better with Richard Sherman. Obviously, Richard Sherman, his name alone brings a pedigree. But
and I think he's still a top 10 cornerback.
I think he's still a good cornerback. I mean, he'll definitely be able to produce. I mean, we seen it last year. Like, no one ever threw to his side of the football field.
No one ever throws to his side, and the Niners did need defense, and they do have cap space.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to grade this?
I'm going to grade this one, honestly, a C+.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a B. Maybe a B-. I don't really like 3 years for Richard Sherman. He's kind of old at this point.
Yeah, he's
I think he got some good guarantees too. Sorry to cut you off, but I think he got like $20 million of his contract guaranteed,
really? No,
which is like a lot of guaranteed money for someone coming off an injury and his age and
like
that corner.
He's coming off injuries. He runs his mouth a lot. He's locker room cancer, and he's old, and I just think he's washed up. I don't know. It's really hard to say about this move for the 49ers. I mean,
they did get better.
They got better, but again, I would have liked to see them get younger, right? I mean,
if it looks better if they sound like a Tremaine Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not loving the Sherman to 49ers deal, but good for them for making a splash anyway. They've been terrible for like 3-4 years, so at least
since they made the fucking Super Bowl with Kaepernick.
Yeah, since Harbaugh left, they've been awful.
Yeah.
But another big move here, Sammy Watkins gets signed to the Chiefs. He joins Patty Mahomes III and Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill and the tight end there. What the fuck's his name?
Travis
Kelce. Forgot his name there for a second. But he joins a very good offense in Kansas City. I'm going to give this one a B. He gets a 3-year deal for a little bit more money than Allen Robinson got. I didn't think he was very good in LA, but Jared Goff's not a great deep ball thrower. Sammy Watkins is primarily a deep ball receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think he will get a lot better of looks from Patty Mahomes III. And I think this Chiefs offense is going to be extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Just so everyone knows, we are a Patty Mahomes.
We like Patty Mahomes on this show.
We are a Patty Mahomes podcast here. We love Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
We've said it since he got drafted, coming out of Texas Tech. I mean, this guy's got a fucking arm.
He probably has the best arm in the NFL.
Oh, probably. I think there's a lot of good weapons in KC now on that offense. Like you said, Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, now Sammy Watkins, Patty Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I think this offense is going to be fucking good, man.
Spencer Ware's coming back.
I think this offense is going to be pretty good.
This offense is going to be gross.
This is exactly what Patty Mahomes needs to step into. It's exactly what he needed.
He gets developed for a year behind Alex Smith and Andy Reid.
Yeah, the way they built around Patrick Mahomes is exactly what you wanted to do with a quarterback. I mean,
especially a deep ball quarterback like Patty Mahomes, add some deep speed to his weapons.
So I give this. Sammy coming out of Clemson, I was like, this kid's gonna be nasty. Didn't really work out in Buffalo. I mean, he's never really had a quarterback that knows how to utilize him and use his system. So I think he can actually do something in Kansas City now. I'm going to give this one an A.
Okay. I'll hold off and give you an A just because I think Sammy Watkins has been disappointing.
Yeah.
Since coming into the NFL, I mean, I've seen him drop a few balls here or there that are just easy catches that just he needs to be making.
Yeah.
And the Bills did trade up. Like, they traded a lot to move up to draft this guy.
Yeah.
So, I think he's been a little disappointing, but he is definitely just another weapon in Kansas City's arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would be worried if I was playing them, especially if you're on the defense.
Yeah, exactly. I like this move by Kansas City.
Absolutely. What are your expectations for Kansas City and Patty Mahomes this year? Do you think it's a little much to be asking Patty Mahomes to carry them to the playoffs, or do you think that's right where they need to be?
I think that's right where they need to be. I mean, Patrick Mahomes said it himself. Like, he wants, like, this is his team. He wants to do everything he can to make the playoffs, and I think this kid has an unbelievable mindset. I mean, I think this kid's a great quarterback. I don't know if he's definitely not the best quarterback coming out of that draft. I like Patty Mahomes more than Mitch.
Even though you haven't seen Patty Mahomes play in the NFL? Even though
I haven't seen Patty Mahomes play in the NFL, I honestly wanted to see Patty Mahomes in a Bears jersey, but I mean, it was kind of too high to pick Patty Mahomes at that point.
Yeah.
Even when they didn't trade up, they were still at 4th overall or 3rd overall, whatever. I would have liked to see. I think Deshaun Watson is better than those two, but I think Patty Mahomes can definitely bring. It's not a far stretch to say that Kansas City can't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the weapons they have, they've made the playoffs the last couple of years. I think Andy Reid will choke them away again, like he always does. But
like, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs, but I think they can make the playoffs.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a couple more moves here I just want to talk about quickly. Danny Amendola gets moved to the Miami Dolphins, or not gets moved, he signs to the Dolphins on a 2-year deal. I really didn't see him leaving New England, but he has taken multiple pay cuts while in New England just to stay there. So I can't blame him for wanting his money. I'm going to miss him, though, on the Patriots. He was very clutch in the playoffs.
Who were we just talking about? I zoned out there for a
No,
second.
it's okay. Danny Amendola. I just wanted to throw in 2 cents on him.
Yeah.
Isaiah Crowell goes to the Jets on a 3-year deal. He was pretty disappointing in Cleveland.
Despite having that
high
offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think he's very good. The Jets don't have a very good offense or offensive line. I don't think he's going to produce very much.
No. I mean, it definitely makes them him and Bilal Powell, I guess.
Yeah, it makes them a little bit better, but it's like, eh.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson gets released by the Packers. I think he's a target of the New England Patriots after losing Danny Amendola. I think they need to fill their white guy quota a little bit more. What do you think about them releasing Jordy Nelson?
I don't know. I don't really know how to think. I mean, Jordy's been good for how long for the Packers, right? And they just kind of, I guess they
kind of released him.
I mean, I kind of see him going to Baltimore. I can see him going to Baltimore and maybe joining Jimmy G in San Fran, maybe.
Or Tom Brady and the Patriots.
No. But yeah, it's weird that the Packers just up and drop their man like that. I mean, Jordy's been a part of that team almost as long as A-Rod has been, so I'm sure Rodgers is definitely going to miss Jordy Nelson. But I mean, Devontae Adams is still there to pick up the slack. Devontae Adams is no slouch. He's a good wide receiver. And now that Jordy's gone, I think Devontae Adams is fantasy. If we're talking fantasy, I think his fantasy value.
If it wasn't high enough already.
If it wasn't high enough, it's definitely higher now.
Yeah, absolutely. A move that just happened as well. Prince Amukamara expected to sign a 3-year deal in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Re-signs for $27 million on a 3-year deal. He was pretty good last year.
Yeah, I didn't mind him. It's a cornerback, right? Yeah. It's a good piece to have.
Yep.
Prince.
I like keeping him around.
Yeah. It's better than I like him better than Kyle Fuller, even though we put the fucking transition tag on Kyle Fuller. But
yeah, which was strange. I thought they put a little bit more on him, but
yeah.
Dante Moncrief lands in Jacksonville. There's another weapon for them. The Baltimore Ravens land John Brown and Ryan Grant. John Brown's okay, only a 1-year deal. Ryan Grant gets widely overpaid.
Yeah.
Wildly overpaid.
Who the fuck is Ryan Grant?
He got like $29.5 million for 4 years. He's a restricted free agent. I don't think Washington will be bringing him back on that deal.
No.
I don't know what they're doing in Baltimore. Like we said off the top, I think they're going to be lost in that division. I mean, Joe Flacco's garbage.
Yeah.
Their defense was better last year.
Joe Flacco is elite.
Yeah, like their defense is good, but it's going to take a hell of a draft for them to actually be competitive next year, I think. And the last decent piece of news was Dion Lewis getting a 4-year deal in Tennessee. Tennessee's bringing in a bunch of New England players here. I'll miss Dion Lewis, but he ended up getting $23 million over 4 years, $11 million guaranteed. I think that's a little much considering the rookie running backs we're seeing coming out of college every year.
Yeah.
But Dion Lewis, good guy. Glad he got paid. Gonna miss him in New England, but like Malcolm Butler, see you later. We're not paying that for that.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
So that about does it for all the moves so far. Danny Shelton gets traded to the Patriots. If anybody out there is listening, I think he's going to be pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll be about it for the NFL news out of us. Do you want to move into top 5?
Yeah, we'll do our top 5 here.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first, since we know who's going to be number 1.
All right. So we're going to do top 5 NFL teams after the trades. Number 1, numero uno, I am going the New England Patriots up there in Boston. Tom Brady's going to be 41 years old, coming off an MVP season. I think even though free agency just started, they did lose some pieces. I think they have the in-house replacements to get it done. I think they're going to make a couple moves here to get themselves a couple linebackers and some pass rush help. But I'm not worried about New England. They're going to get Julian Edelman back. I think their offense is going to be humming all over the field as long as Rob Gronkowski does not retire. The Patriots take my number 1 spot. Number 2, I'm putting the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl champions, getting Carson Wentz back, getting Michael Bennett. They are going to lose Nigel Bradham. They lost Trey Burton. They're going to lose Patrick Robinson, their slot corner. And they did release Vinny Curry. So there is some pieces of that defense getting moved. I think LeGarrette Blount is also gone. I think he was on a 1-year deal. But they still have Jay Ajayi, Carson Wentz. They did move Torrey Smith in a trade as well. But I think the Eagles are going to be fine. I think they're going to be right back in the NFC Championship next year with another shot at the Super Bowl. And I think if you're just looking at pure talent, the Eagles are a favorite to repeat in the NFL next year. Number 3, I'm going to go Minnesota Vikings. I think after getting Kirk Cousins, there are very little holes in Minnesota. Their defense is a top 5 unit in the NFL, and I think their offense has the potential to be the same if Dalvin Cook comes back and runs and catches the ball like it looked like he was going to do when we saw him debut last year. I think their offense should score a ton of points with the wide receivers and the tight ends they have there. The offensive line is solid too. And the new $86 million man, Kirk Cousins, is going to put up another 4,000 yards and throw another 30 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I think at number 4, I am going to put the Pittsburgh Steelers here. They still have Antonio Brown. They still have Le'Veon Bell. Big Ben's still at the helm. Their defense is a young one. It's only going to get better. TJ Watt's got a year under his belt. I think he's going to be a menace rushing the passer, just like his big brother. And you know what that offense is going to do. Le'Veon Bell's under contract, so you know he's going to get another 2,000 scrimmage yards. You know Antonio Brown's going to get another 1,500 receiving yards and lead the league in catches. I think that Pittsburgh offense is just too tough to stop for most teams, and they land number 4 on my list. And number 5 in the NFL, this is a tough one because I think those first 4 teams really separated themselves, especially now that the Seahawks are tearing themselves down.
Yeah.
But I think at number 5, it's a toss-up for me for 2 teams, but I am going to put the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 5. I think that defense, it's not going to get worse. I think it's only going to get better. You might see a little bit less of Calais Campbell, but he's still going to be disgusting. They still have 2 all-pro corners. I trust the development of Leonard Fournette. I don't like Blake Bortles as their quarterback, but I think that he knows their system, and I think that they can win with him. If it wasn't for the greatness of Tom Brady, they would have went to the Super Bowl last year. So it's tough for me to even put them behind the Steelers because they had beaten them in that AFC divisional game. But I am going to put Jacksonville at 5. And just if we're doing an honorable mention, I was thinking Jacksonville or Green Bay, because I do think with Aaron Rodgers coming back, them getting Jimmy Graham and Muhammad Wilkerson, they have all their draft picks, and their new front office has shown that they're going to be aggressive in free agency. Even losing Jordy Nelson, I think you still have the weapons in Green Bay to really have a great offense. And if they can find a running back complement to Ty Montgomery,
Yeah.
and a little bit more defense, I think they're going to be right there with Minnesota and Philadelphia. So that's going to be my top 5 with an honorable mention.
Okay, so my top 5, I'm gonna put the reigning champs, the Eagles, number 1. I mean, Carson Wentz is just unbelievable. I think he's gonna be, depending on how he comes back, he could be just as good, if not better, than he was last year.
I agree. I think he's an MVP candidate.
Oh, yeah,
I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the league now.
Oh
Easy.
yeah. I wasn't a huge believer of Carson Wentz, but, coming out of a D2 school.
You thought he was going to be a bust.
I did say he was going to be a bust. Boy, was I wrong. But I'm going to put the Eagles number 1. I think Jay Ajayi, even though they lost, LeGarrette Blount was a good supplement to Jay Ajayi. Jay Ajayi going for a full season in Philly now. I think he's going to maybe put up the numbers that he did his first year in Miami. I can see that. Number 2, it's going to pain me to do this. Fuck. I'm going to put your Patriots at number 2. I mean, you can't go wrong with Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. They still got Brandon Cooks. They still got Julian Edelman's going to come back, right? So Gronk, if barring, hopefully he doesn't break his spine
or go to the WWE.
Yeah, exactly. You just can't knock the Patriots off. Number 3, also pains me to say this, the Vikings are going to be my number 3. I mean, Kirk Cousins, a big addition to them to go with Thielen, and Cook going to hopefully maybe play a full season. Yep. I say hopefully, even though they're in my fucking division. Diggs is unbelievable. Their defense is probably one, if not the, well,
they're probably 1-2 with Jacksonville.
With Jacksonville, right? I mean, Everson Griffin's unreal. Rhodes is unreal. Yeah. Harrison Smith is unreal.
Anthony Barr.
Like, that defense is almost too good.
Yeah, their defensive tackles are both gross. Eric Kendricks is a fantastic linebacker.
Yeah, exactly.
Anderson Dejo's not a bad strong safety.
Yeah, I think they can really do some damage this year. Number 4, I'm going to agree with you on the Steelers. I'm going to put the Steelers here. I mean, Big Ben can still kind of produce a little bit. Obviously, they have respectively the best running back and wide receiver for their positions. Obviously, Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, right?
I would agree with that.
And Juju's only going to get better. Juju Smith is only going to get better. I mean, it hurt. I was gonna, if Ryan Shazier was still like alive, they'd be pretty close to the Vikings, but just because they lost a lot on that defensive end with Shazier going down, I just think they're below the Vikings now.
Yeah.
Number 5 is really a toss up for me, like it was for you. I mean, there's a lot of teams I could put here. I could put Jacksonville there. I think I could even put, honestly, with Zeke playing a full year, I can probably put Dallas there. Despite them I don't think they're definitely not going to get Dez back, right? I think Dez is no longer going to be a Cowboy.
Unless they trade him. I don't know if anybody will want him, though.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, the Dak and Zeke duo is unbelievable, but I can't put them there. I'm going to put the LA Rams at number 5.
Yep.
Their defense is unbelievable.
Defensive Player of the Year,
Aaron Donald. I mean, I know they lost Alec Ogletree. He was always good, but they still got LaMarcus Joyner.
Yep. Safety.
Yeah.
Still have Mark Barron to play middle linebacker.
Exactly. And then you have arguably a 1A and 1B, 1A being Le'Veon Bell, 1B being Todd Gurley. I think Todd Gurley is going to be one of the best running backs in the league. I think he'll be might be better than Le'Veon Bell this year. I can kind of see it. Todd Gurley is gross. Jared Goff's only getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Woods said, like, he showed some stuff that he can do last year. I think he'll be...
They do lose Sammy, though.
They do lose Sammy, but, I mean... I think in today's football, you're looking at, if your running back can do what Todd Gurley can do, no one can fucking stop you, right? I mean, It really depends if Todd can do what he did last year, and because the year before last year he was fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
He was terrible, but their offensive line has gotten a lot better. They probably have top 5 offensive line in the NFL right now.
Andrew Whitworth was signed last year. He's a fantastic left tackle.
Exactly.
Robert Havenstein over at right tackle is very good as well.
I like LA.
I have the Rams. If I have the Packers 6, I have the Rams 7. And I think the only reason I do that is because of Aaron Rodgers. I think the Rams are much more talented than the Packers are. That defense is unbelievable now with Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib joining Aaron Donald, Mark Barron, Joyner, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a great defense to go along with the highest scoring offense in the league.
Yeah.
I think the Rams are for real as well. As the entire time you were talking, I was legit going to be like, you know what? I have to throw the Rams in because I was thinking about them. But I'll probably put them 6, right behind Jacksonville.
Yeah, if I'm going to put the honorable mentions, I'm going to put, just because of Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to put the Packers at 6.
Yeah.
If barring he can stay healthy again, if his collarbone doesn't explode, and then I'll put Jacksonville. I mean, I just don't.
Blake Bortles is terrible.
Blake Bortles is like the 73rd best quarterback in the NFL. I don't like Blake Bortles at all.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to win them any games.
I mean, the only thing they have on the offensive side of the football is Leonard Fournette, and that's it.
Yeah, but Leonard Fournette's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, still.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, so it's definitely the Eagles, Patriots, Vikings, Steelers, and Rams.
Yep, and for me, I think the Patriots are still on top. I think the Eagles are a clear-cut second favorite team. I think the Vikings are right behind them. Then you put the Steelers, and then I like Jacksonville, and then honorable mentions will be Green Bay and the Rams at 6.
And then the Browns at 8.
And the Chicago Bears slide in at number 8.
Yeah, Chicago Bears are starting to slowly creep up there, in my opinion, obviously. But
and just to throw it out there, your Toronto Raptors are now on a 9-game win streak after beating the Brooklyn Nets by a good amount, double digits. Let's just say the Raptors are going to the NBA Finals to take on the Houston Rockets, and we've already shown we can beat them, so Raptors in 5. We will see you in Toronto for the NBA Finals.
Okay.
After we knock off LeBron James.
I guess we'll start planning the parade for both sports, for the Leafs and the Raptors here.
Yes, exactly. Plan 2 parades.
Plan 2 parades in downtown Toronto.
But I think that'll about do it from us here on this Tuesday. Thank you guys for listening to us. If you like all of this NFL action, be sure to hit that like button, shoot us a subscription, and comment down below if you have anything to say about the dumb shit that we spew on a daily basis.
And if we have said anything incorrect, please feel free to point us out. I will make fun of you and be pissed at you.
If you correct us, please feel free to fuck right off.
If you correct us, fuck off.
We are not professionals. We are average Joes, like we said.
Anyways, thanks for... yeah, you fucked that one up.
Yeah, you know what? We haven't put any... There were no sound effects in there, and I always want to put them in, so...
There's a couple.
There's a couple sound effects for you guys. Enjoy.
So yeah, have a great night, guys. Hopefully you stuck around for this long.
Expect us on Friday with a little bit of March Madness update. The games will be kicking off on Thursday, so we'll explain to you how our bracket got busted 10 ways from Sunday. And expect some more NFL signings here. We will discuss those on Friday, and we'll monitor the NHL and NBA and see if anything interesting happens.
Thanks for tuning in, boys, and with that, have a great night.